This woman on the screen speaks with the Spirit of God. Let's give her an ear to listen. We need more women like this. Watch this.
The reason that I say women have a duty to have the next generation is because only we can. Men can't step in and have the babies. We don't tell men, hey guys, we understand you don't want to do the dirty, dangerous, difficult jobs that could kill you. So, it's all about what you want, men. Just stay home and play World of Warcraft. Sorry, Brian. Just, do whatever you want and follow your
Why is he
dreams.
catching strays?
Do not say that to men. If you're walking down the street with your boyfriend and a guy tries to mug you and he runs away, we as a society go, you coward, you piece of shit. We shame the hell out of that guy and we go, you had a duty to protect her. You guys think that it's fine to go off and I'm going to have a glamorous career where I close the deal over brunch and some other lady out there can have all the babies. No.
Why can't you do both, Rachel?
Well, that's been my point. My point is I did that first for 25 years before doing this. And you're calling me a hypocrite for it. You're looking down on me for it. You're chastising me and calling me a hypocrite because you're like, well, you're out here promoting stuff. You're out here making money. You're out here doing things.
Because
why are you doing that?
telling other women not to do what you did.
No, I'm telling them to do what I did. Do what I did. Have all your kids first. Raise them into adulthood. I started at 20, which is what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to start early in your 20s, and then by the time you're my age, 45, you're done having kids.
Aren't there risks?
Now you can go off and do other things because you fulfilled your duty to society as a woman.
She is absolutely right. A lot of people are out of order and have things backwards when it comes to their priority list. Here's the thing. As a man, there is so much I can do by myself. So much I can do, but there's only one thing I truly can't do alone by myself, and that's have children. That being said, I know my role, I know my duties as a man, but unfortunately, most women I see anecdotally with my own two eyes do not know their role. They are not taught it to be a mother and a wife. They're out of order. They believe that Genesis chapter 2 verse 18 doesn't apply to them when God said it's not good for a man to be alone. I will make him a helper. A lot of women today, unfortunately, want the men to help them when it's the inverse. If anything, it should be the men aiding and assisting, supporting the women, but the women also aiding, supporting, submitting, and assisting to the men. But if women collectively don't want to do that, that's why we see massive population declines throughout Southeast Asia, America, and in countries that embrace an inverse subversion of God's perfectly designed order for our lives. Here's the thing. In order for Christians to make godly families, we need godly women with her, this lady right here, her type of mindset and priorities in life, doing what God wants done and not what she wants done. Unfortunately, the inverse is true today. More godly women are necessary for godly men to be able to make godly families. Because, personally speaking, I could have been a husband. I could have been a father already. I was with an agnostic, very extremely beautiful. So beautiful to the point where other men would literally have to double take and look back at her because she was that interesting to look at. But the thing is that I forsaked her, 22-year-old. I'm 35, about to be 36. And the thing is that I forsaked her because I became born again. I gave my life to Christ fully. And I said, I don't want to live the way I want to live anymore by my own doing. Christ, I want you to be my shepherd. I want you to be my king. Let your will be done, not my own. As a result, I read 2 Corinthians chapter 6, verse 14 and 16, and it says, do not be unequally yoked to an unbeliever. For what in common does a believer have with an unbeliever? What in common does light have with darkness? What in common does the church have with idolatry? What in common does Christ have with Beliar or Satan? Nothing. Nothing at all. So I told the person that was dating at the time and told her that I love you, but I cannot ever love you more than I love Jesus Christ. Because she was agnostic, she became prideful, and we had to go our separate ways. That being said, we need more godly women. Otherwise, Christianity will cease to exist. It will get overrun. And if no families are being made, and if no people understand their natural role in life, then things will come to an end. But I believe these things must happen for the Son of Man to return a second time, which is why we're seeing the events take place and transpire as we see them currently today. So, regardless, what's the end takeaway point message? People need to turn their face to God and not turn their backs to Him. We still have time. But, ultimately speaking, people need to humble themselves and turn themselves to Christ fully and not half-heartedly, 25%, 50%, or even 75% or 95%, 100%. That being said, we all have a choice to make. What's your choice going to be? I've already made my choice. All glory to my great King.